researchers of the country under iRise project to enhance their employability skills. She has designed the lead over 15 workshops for early career researchers in the topics of career planning, communication skills, systematic problem solving and innovation, entrepreneurship, technology management, design thinking, and so on, in association with national and international experts. Such workshops were conducted across the country in known organizations like IITs and IISERs. Apart from leading the training program, Dr. Nitin has several national and international publications also, like book chapters, and advising many institutions for developing their IP cell and IT policy as per India's IP policy and NEP, this mandate. She has delivered several plenary sessions, invited talks nationally and internationally, academics, R&D institutions, and bodies like ASSOCHAM, CII, and CIPAM, etc. So now I will request our director, sir, kindly give introductory remark on this occasion.
Thank you, Dr. Sharma. It's our great privilege that on the occasion of this IP Protection Day and IP Protection Week, rather, we are going to have such a celebrity speaker with us, and her biodata, what you just mentioned, is really exemplary, and it's very important that we understand intellectual property rights, how to protect our intellectual properties, because agriculture is viewed in a different way these days. Earlier, agriculture scientists used to feel that everything should be open source, but now things are happening that uh, we need to know how to protect our intellectual properties. And I'm happy to share that our NRC scientists are doing pretty good in getting patents. Every year we are getting at least a few patents, and that is showing that our people are our scientists are quite encouraged in doing innovative research, because if there is innovation, then only there is a question of intellectual property, and intellectual property has to be protected in some or other way. So, without losing any time, I request Dr. Nitin Shukla to please address us, and I'm sure we are going to get a lot of benefit out of it. I'm very sorry that I have another meeting, so I may not be able to attend the entire session, but I will try to be there as much as possible, as long as possible. Thank you very much, madam, and most welcome. And we next time we would like to see you physically visiting our institute for seeing our grape pioneers and our institute and interaction with our scientists. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Thank you, sir.
much, Dr. Banerjee. I really appreciate your inputs and the initiative to organize this event. And I understand that already the Grape Research Institute is doing very well in terms of IP, protecting IP, and you also have a trademark of your institute, which is really commendable. That starts the entire setup of branding your organization for something which is very economically important, something like grapes, which have a lot of end products as well. And in future, definitely I would like to visit your organization and also see certain startups from NRC. So I really am very keen to see that, because I think that will be the real success from Pune. I would say that it's a great yardstick to have inventions which are commercialized by our maybe faculty, our students who take it ahead on the basis of their commitment towards their technology they have developed in the labs. So surely, thanks for the opening comments. You have set the stage very nicely. And regarding the open source thing, open source is okay, but up to a certain extent. But definitely, when we are talking of research, we are also looking at tangible benefits which are coming out of research, and it is not necessarily money. It is also in terms of the social impact which our organization, which our products, which our technologies are making to our stakeholders. So, and I think already ICAR as a whole and NRC Grapes takes the primary place from Pune, that they are doing the great job. So with this, I will quickly begin up with my presentation of the day. So are my slides visible?
Yes, yes,
Perfect.
perfect. Uh,
So I plan to show the video first, but now I will show it later. So quickly, I'll start what I have in mind about the kind of patenting, kind of IP protection which we have, which we can have in the agriculture space. And let me tell you that the total percentage of startups in the agri-biotech space is around 25 to 30% out of the total startups set up in our country. So there is so much of the activities, so much of activities which are going on, so much more can be done to meet the demands of the stakeholders, from the technologies using agri-biotech, or maybe AIML integrated agriculture also. So I will quickly take that ahead. So first of all, I want to focus on like how biotechnology can be used in the case of agriculture, precisely biotech inventions. So first is development of therapeutics to cure diseases. Here I'm mentioning gene and stem cell therapies. It can be with respect to the plant diseases as well. Then so, and then production of valuable products at the commercial scale, just like organic acids, antibodies, amino acids, proteins, enzymes, which are very critical for agri-biotech, biofuels, vitamins, hormones, alcohols, fermented products, again underlying thing for NRC, fine chemicals, developments of tools and methodology and expression system, also in terms of gene synthesis, sequencing, purification process, formulation, bioassays, diagnosis, delivery, etc. So this looks like the entire purview of what biotechnology can do, and we will now shift our focus towards agri-biotech. So as we all know, there is a 1970 bar which differentiates the traditional biotechnology and the modern biotechnology. So traditional biotechnology uses biological systems to make products, just like enzymes, viticulture and all. Also you use these traditional biotechnologies earlier, and now there is a lot of emphasis on using newer technologies, which we will talk about. And food processing, like fermented products, brewery, dairy products. Then the process of brewing beer, here I say, but it can be any drink, alcoholic, non-alcoholic, then conversion of starch to sugar, followed by addition of specific yeast. In agriculture, we could be modifying the living plants for improved yields of food crops, then artificial selection and hybridization, like crops with reduced vulnerability to frost, drought, and cold. And these could be simple process like the direct use or isolation from original biological sources and fermentation. Now coming to the post 1970 biotech, the modern biotech, which starts the use of recombinant DNA technology. We see like in 1990s, this recombinant DNA technology coming up, then newer disciplines in biotech, which are based on multiple domains as well, not only bio specifically, they also come up. So besides cell biology, genetics, molecular biology, the knowledge of practical applications of the biotech related information also comes up, like biochemical engineering, bioinformatics, computational design, and use of genetically altered organisms. A very good case is the Monsanto case, which we will talk about. Then enabling the production of existing, say, medicines or products easily and cheaply. And traditional biotechnology industries, they adopt new and modern techniques to improve the quality and the productivity of the process of their by their products. So this is about the modern biotechnology. So it is very important to understand what happened in 1970, which marks this division. So any idea? Can I have answers from the audience? Any idea what happened in 1970 which marks the differentiation of modern and the traditional technology, biotechnology? Okay, so we will answer that in the coming sessions then. Coming the slides then, yeah. So key fields in which biotechnology is being used. This is also applicable for all the biotechnology fields, whether it is red biotechnology when we talk of disease, when we talk of humans, we talk of prognosis, we talk of screening, and blue when we talk of ocean, green when we talk of agriculture, and white when we talk of milk, etc. Improving the technologies there. So these three technologies are encompassing all the aspects of four colored biotechnology, like protein engineering, designs of proteins, enzymes based on structural and mechanistic knowledge, molecular evolution, then metabolic pathway engineering, so designing of more efficient metabolic pathways, targeting high yield and low byproducts, and the target product is also in a higher volume and purity. Then computational modeling and optimization, which includes genome-wide analysis, then nanobiotechnology, so use of nanoparticles for diagnostics imaging in case of red biotechnology. In case of green, it is used for targeting specific disease cells, etc. in plants. Then cell culture engineering, microorganisms and mammalian cells, hybridoma technology. So basically you all are aware what hybridomas are. So like forming cell lines by fusing a specific antibody into that and creating a new cell line which is for a particular purpose. So just like the big cancer cells, which is for the ability to grow in tissue cultures. So these are the various technologies of biotechnology which are being used. So major application areas of biotechnology is like healthcare and diagnostics, development of therapeutics, efficacy, toxicity, diagnosis, early prediction, prevention of disease. So this is also related to plants in the terms that we hear of Japan having a tomato which has certain chemicals infused into it, and that is supposed to reduce the stress. And these good hormones, I would say, they are present in that, the initiators are present in that, and eventually the effect of eating that tomato would be stress release. Agriculture, crop production, improving the high yield and quality. Bio-based process like reducing pollution, CO2 emission, global warming, and alternate energies, while looking at the depletion of fuels using of renewable sources like corn, sugarcane, cellulose. And this is mostly with respect to cost and the long-term implications of using that particular item. Now coming to the patents granted until now, just to put things in perspective so that you all understand like how has the patenting been, and the 1970, I would say the placeholder. So 1911, the first biotech patent was granted, though it was just extraction, it was not engineering. And then 1973, first recombinant DNA technology came, and that was patented as well. And this is the reason why we categorize ancient and modern biotechnology by 1970 decade. And then 1981 comes the patenting of microorganisms which have been altered by humans to do a certain activity. So in this case, this case of 1981 is the famous Chakrabarti versus Diamond versus Chakrabarti case, wherein an Indian scientist working in a US lab altered a bacterium, Pseudomonas, and it pushed a gene into it so that the bacteria could be used for the oil absorption at the point of oil spillage. So first the court said that the microorganisms cannot be patented because they are living organisms in the cell. They are existing as such in the nature. But then upon argument, it was said that microorganisms existing in nature cannot be patented, but microorganisms which have been altered, the genes of which have been altered by humans to initiate a particular activity, can be patented. So this case is the landmark in history of patenting of microorganisms, and this is also applicable. This highlights two things. One, that you cannot protect anything which is existing in nature as such, in case you have made any changes any changes in gene, and extraction process can be patented, but not the products as such. So another thing here is that maybe you develop a consortium of, say, soil, which will improve the yield. So that consortium is based on whatever was existing in nature. You have not changed, but you can argue saying that I have changed the volume concentrations, and now which portion would be how much for the better yield, right? So this thing, I'm just trying to tell you that all these aspects, while you work on your research, you can look into this, that what are you getting as a result, and maybe explore it for any of the IP protection, not necessarily patent. Then in 1982, we saw the first patented genetically modified plant. So this was antibiotic resistance. The gene was inserted, and 1988 was critical in for having the Harvard onco mouse. So basically, this was in Harvard's lab, and the cancer-causing genes were inserted in normal mouse, because of which there was a the new progeny would be affected by cancer, and that was used to study the effect of cancer and the related drugs. So here, initially, the gene sequence, the animals, the progeny, the process to do that, everything was patented. But then there were arguments that the animals per se cannot be patented because that is existing in nature. Progeny cannot be patented because the you have inserted the gene, but then how the process of reproduction happens is very natural. You cannot claim the reproduct. You cannot claim that process or the products of that. What you can claim is the process of insertion of that gene and replication of gene. So, and another key thing is here, this Howard Onco mouse. This itself is a patent. This itself is a trademark. The name Onco mouse, registered with USPTO, and that reflects the IP strategy which can be involved in biotech related inventions as well. And 1991 was human hematopoietic stem cells, first patent on stem cells, and this was granted to a Japanese group, as I remember. So this is a chronology of the key biotech patents granted until now. Some of the bioproducts which have been used are like produced by big companies like BSF, like vitamin B2, amino acids, methoxy isopropylamine. Then Eastman Color Chemical was using ascorbic acid, vitamin C. Degussa had patents and products around fatty acids, organo-modified silicones and oleochemicals. Celanese had acetic acid, polylactic acid. Cargill also had PLAs, and DuPont, Chevron were also working in the area of alcohols, etc. So, as you all, because I have taken the first session with ICR already, so I believe that all of you are informed that there are 8 forms of IP, and the most talked about is generally the patents, but there are other aspects of IP as well. And I understand that NRC has already protected certain patents, certain plant varieties as well. So this is just to keep you reminded that these things can help you probe your research from the IP aspect of it. So the patentability criteria, this is just a recall of my earlier talk. As I said, it's NUNS test, NUN-SS, wherein first N stands for novelty. That means your work is either to unknown, not used, not sold by anybody. Then is the utility, that your work has real world utility. Non-obviousness, your work is not an obvious extension of the existing prior art. You have done something which was not expected from the routine process. Then first S stands for statutory patentable invention. That means your work is not in the list of non-patentable invention as per the jurisdiction. Like we will talk about what is non-patentable in the next slide. Sufficiently disclosed in the specification. So specification is a techno-legal document that accompanies that goes to the patent office, and on the basis of that they give a decision on whether or not they will grant a patent. So your technique has to be sufficiently disclosed in that specification, so that anybody who wants to repeat your work can do it without undue experimentation. So these are the pillars of patentability, and all 4 have to be met so that you get a patent. And even if you get a patent without one of them, like a firm, then your patent is likely to be revoked or opposed later, and maybe you have to amend your claims or your patent is totally removed, right? So these are certain patentable invention. This relates to the S I am talking about. So each jurisdiction in the world, like US, I will talk of major ones, US, Europe, India, they have certain categories wherein they have decided that they will grant certain patents and they will not grant patents in certain areas. Like India doesn't allow patents around food items. It doesn't allow method of treatment. Europe also doesn't allow method of treatment. So first we will talk about the patentable inventions. So so here polynucleotide or gene sequences, constructs, cassettes or gene libraries provided you indicate a use to it. Polypeptides, protein sequences, again if you have a use to it. Vectors like plasmids or phage vectors, host cells, recombinant microorganisms, transgenic cells for a particular use can be patented. Plants and animal tissue culture process, so this is like a sexual reproduction process. Pharmaceutical vaccine compositions comprising microorganisms, proteins, polynucleotides, antibodies or antigen binding fragments thereof. Diagnostic kits, tests such as for detection of a mutation in a particular conditions can also be patented. Now we come to non-patentable. So any living thing which is existing in nature cannot be patented. Whole plant or animal, human beings and embryonic stem cells cannot be patented. Genetically modified multicellular organisms like plants, human beings, animals cannot be patented. Methods of medical treatment and the process involving microbiology and microorganisms are patentable subject matter, but again their functions have to be attributed. So these are some of the examples which scientists from NRC can just take a look, like in their area of research, what can be granted a patent. Like first could be patents on winemaking and processing. So it can have yeast strains, fermentation, wine preservation, temperature, pressure conditions, anything specific. So here you can have genetically modified yeast for improved fermentation, like reducing the acetic acid, then method for reducing sulfites in wines using enzymes, oak-free wine using patented wood chip infusion. So this is, I think, a Japanese patent exists around that area. So this, and then patents on vineyard technology, mechanical harvesting, robotic grape harvester with AI-based ripeness detection, whether or not it is ripe, that also can be detected, and based on that, the grape will be harvested from the plant field. Then irrigation system, so smart irrigation system for water efficient vineyards, pest control, pheromone based, and there are others also you might be aware of for organic vineyards, and normally chemicals are also there. And coming to CRISPR, so there are that like CRISPR-Cas technology has been used to edit genes around grapes for having maybe disease resistance, which is a famous Syngenta case also. Then disease resistant transgenic grapes, then seedless grapes technology, flavor and color enhancement. A very important case here is of Syngenta, which developed a grape. Which developed a grape variety which was resistant to powdery mildew, and they said that the grapes will not be harmed by that particular fungus, just and our variety would be resistant to that. So here what happened, they got a patent, but there was a lot of hue and cry from the winemakers as well. They said that one, if we cultivate these grapes, it is likely they will go into there would be there would be transfusion between the non-GMO grapes, one, and it can cause negative effects on the organic cultivation they are doing. Second thing they said was that considering the GI related to these wines like cognac, then there are other types of wines as well. They said that we have a certain process to follow, and GMO things we will not follow because that is against the GI standards we have got ourselves protected under. So this is a combination of both GI and patenting technologies here. So Syngenta's ultimately patent could not be commercialized to the extent they had expected. Now coming to another very critical case, you all must have heard of the Monsanto Roundup case. So Monsanto developed soybean crops. Which were resistant, which were glyphosate resistant. So that was a herbicide we made, wherein only the weeds and herbs would be attacked, and the plant will be immune to that. So so what happened was there was a lot of hue and cry again because of this, and Monsanto was having around 85% of the soybean production share in US, and people were promoting it. They said that we can overcome hunger and other issues like that as well. But then it was observed that during the course of time, the crops became resistant to the Roundup. One. Second thing is they also took out. They came. The Monsanto came up with maize. They came up with the cotton also, which was genetically modified, and eventually they all became resistant to glyphosate, and it was not working. And there was also a mix up of varieties with the non-GMO ones, and that was causing problem. So people were against the GMOs, and Europe and India do not allow that. US allows that, and consequently, Monsanto came up with updated soya beans, which was said to be Roundup Ready too. And there's a patent related to that. In this, they use combination of glyphosate and dicamba resistance also. So there was a DMO gene, the dicamba oxygenase gene, which was induced, and because of which the plants became resistant to glyphosate. Plants were resistant to glyphosate and dicamba both. So that this was ultimately Monsanto had to, and then Roundup was later found to be carcinogenic, cancer causing, and therefore Monsanto had to pay a huge compensation to the people and the farmers who said that that had affected them negatively. So coming to another aspect of IP after a patent, a trademark. So we all know a trademark is any sign which can distinguish the goods of one trader from another. It creates a memory in the mind of people about a particular brand, and NRC has its own logo registered under several classes like except beer, non-alcoholic beverages, etc. Then Encil Innovations. This is also a protected trademark from our organization, which shows that. Which is to go with any technology transfer we do. So similarly, other startups in the agriculture domain like Cropin and these are the products, these are the companies also around that area. They have also protected their trademarks. So which indicates that these people have realized the importance of their work, and they want to they do not want other customers or other players to be copying that. So another form of IP which is related to agricultural products is GIs, geographical indicators. Sorry. So like we hear about Sula wines, we talk about Mahabaleshwar strawberries, we talk of Nagpur oranges, we have Itanagar oranges, we have Coorg oranges. So all these are oranges, all these are food products produced here and there, but certain areas have certain unique qualities associated to it. So there is one case which is Devgad Alfonso. So these man-made or natural products or manufactured good, they have certain unique properties associated to it because of the microclimate in the case of agricultural products, certain expertise in case of man-made products, because of which the article produced in that area has a unique taste. So this is a case study about Devgad Alfonso mangoes, wherein if for those who are not aware totally of the Devgad Alfonso mangoes, so Alfonso cultivation is generally within the 700-kilometer Konkan belt in the western Ghats of India, and Alfonsos are grown everywhere, but the different there is a difference in their taste, flavor, etc., and it is attributed to the abiotic conditions like soil micronutrients, salinity, temperature, rainfall. And Devgad Alfonso is supposed to be very, very popular because of its attractive color, ample sweetness, low fiber containing pulp. And this has a lot of export value, and therefore it contributes majorly to economics as well. So, Devgad Alfonso mango farmers, they were growing. Their mangoes, and they realized that certain people were selling their versions of mangoes saying that this is Alfonso, Devgad Alfonso, and when the customers were dissatisfied, obviously they will never come back buying the same product. So they felt that they felt that their products will earn a negative name, And the farmers they came together to form a society, and NCL's business incubator venture center filed a GI application in the name of Deval Alfonso mangoes, which was granted. And interestingly, NCL's biochemical sciences division was working on the gene sequences of these Deval Alfonso mangoes, wherein we wanted to differentiate various varieties of Alfonsos, and identify the genes which were contributing to the unique taste, flavor, etc. And what we wanted to do was to replicate the same gene sequences artificially for artificial sweeteners, colors to be used in confectionery and all. And we appended our GI application along with, and we appended these gene sequences with our GI application of Deval Alfonso mangoes, which was granted finally. So these are some of the GIs which are very famous, like Kashmir saffron, Magai pan of Bihar, then Devanali pomelo mango. The variety of mangoes are there, Kurg oranges, Shahi lychee of Bihar, etc. So these are all registered GIs because of their unique taste and flavor. Then comes another valid inventions in the field of agri-biotech could be industrial design. So you might be working on certain instruments, maybe for harvesting, and these days some AI-based models which are operating the drones and all, they all could contribute to industrial design. So what does industrial design cover? Basically, it covers the ornamental or aesthetic aspects of the article. It is not about functionality, only about the aesthetics. And this is one example of Fossil, which is AI ML based crop optimization. Like how do you use the crops effect, how do you use various things available, resources available, and how do you optimize those to get better yield in the same area, in the same defined geographic area. So as their motto is grow more, grow better, and sell better. And that this is one example of, and this is one of the startups also. So they have connected with various farmers across the country who are connecting with them to identify the kind of crops, the soil testing, and the crop stage specific intelligence as well. At what time they should be sowing, then water, etc. All that is being guided. And this Fasal Kranti, this instrument has been developed in 2019, and they also got a patent around that. So this is basically this is a farming device for horticulture farmers, and fully stacked. This has a lot of solar powered IoT devices there for precision farming. So basically, such things are happening in the field of agri-tech. Then another form of IP protection which can happen is plant variety. So because we learned that plants as whole cannot be patented, so there is a separate act for that in case you have worked on plant varieties. That is called the Plant Varieties and Farmers' Rights Act. And for patents, the criteria was none. For the plant variety, the criteria is DUS. D stands for distinctness. That means whatever changes you have made should be distinct. Uniform, the changes should be uniform. They should not be exhibiting themselves differently. Stability, meaning the changes you have made should not die out with one generation, but they should continue with other generations as well. So these are the requirements for plant variety registrations, and NRC has already done a couple of them. So these are like around, this is a screenshot from the plant variety registration society, this website. And if you see, there were around 5,476 certificate issued in 2023, and majority of them were around cereals, fiber crops, vegetables, oil seeds, legumes, fruit, sugar crop, and other crops. And if you see here, around 99 were around fruits. That is very very important to understand. If you go into look into this list, there are a lot of grapes as well. And some then there is one more form of IP which can be used for protecting agri-biotech related invention. One is the integrated circuit layout design as well. So if you would be aware, there are certain devices now which can sense which things are rotting first, which fruits are rotting first, and they can segregate that based on their sensors. So such sensors, the layouts, etc., can be protected under the semiconductor integrated circuit layout designs as well. So few examples of IP protection, like in US. So there are US plant patents. There in India, there are no plant patents. There are only plant varieties. In US, for any asexually reproduced plants, the plant patents are granted. So here, like grapes propagated through cuttings or grafting. So in case you develop a new grapevine cultivar with unique traits like disease-resistant flavor, color, it can be protected in US via US plant patents. Then utility patents, we have already discussed these, like CRISPR-edited grapevines, winemaking processes, all we have discussed. And then comes plant variety. So plant variety in US, sexually reproduced plants go under plant variety. Europe allows only plant variety, no plant patent, just like India. And here the example could be new grape varieties bred via traditional methods, and the term of the protection remains around 20 to 25 years, depending the country. So, yeah. So this is one quick reminder sort of thing, what can be protected where, right? So we just discussed in US asexually plants can be protected via patents, plant patents, while utility patents can be granted for sexually reproduced processes and for genes, traits, methods, plant plots or varieties. In all, the foremost criteria is novelty. It has to be there, and we cannot go away from it. And for plant patents, for utility patents, novelty, utility, inventive step is there. And for plant varieties, it has the rule is dus. The term for plant variety in US could be for 20 years, plant patents can be for 20 years, and utility patents are 20 years across the board, across all countries. In India, the plant varieties can be like for 6 years renewable up to 15 years, and wines for 9 years renewable up to 18 years. And these are the fees, etc., which you may refer. And getting a plant variety protection in US, getting a patent in US, a plant patent in US, or a utility patent in US allows, rather disallows people from using, making, selling your product without their permissions. Importing also comes there. Similarly in India, so this there is a level of harmony here. So I will just quickly show one video.
रखते साक्स 20 लीटर का जो टंकी था मैंने इस पे रख दिया और पीठ पे लेके हम स्प्रे करते हैं, वही स्प्रे हम ऐसे करेंगे।
वाओ,
बहुत बहुत अच्छा,
बहुत
आपने
बढ़िया।
इनोवेशन।
साक्स मैंने ये डिजाइन खुद किया है। बहुत सारी कंपनियां हैं, बहुत बड़े बड़े प्रोडक्ट है। कोई ड्रोन बना रहा है, ड्रोन से स्प्रे कर रहा है, बट अपने भारत देश में 70% किसान है, उसमें से 50% है वो छोटे किसान है। तो मैम छोटे किसान ले सकता है क्या ड्रोन? छोटे किसान को छोटी चीज चाहिए ना, तो मैंने ये चीज बनाई। इसे बनाने में मुझे 7 साल लग गए मैम।
वाओ।
मुझे लगता था कि इसमें कुछ चेंज करूं तो मैं चेंज कर देता था, और बाद में ऐसे करते 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 ये मेरा फाइनल डिजाइन ये आया। और शैक्स ये मल्टीपर्पज है, मतलब ये 2 या 3 काम कर सकता है। रखते शैक्स 20 लीटर का जो टंकी था मैंने इस पे रख दिया और पीठ पे।
So, yeah. So I hope you understood from this particular clip that how important minor changes in a particular device, in a particular instrument, can be helpful for our agricultural community, our farmers, and the end stakeholders are all of us. No matter where we are, how we are, we all are the consumers of our agricultural products. So we have, I think, we have our duty also to sort of improve the ecosystem there, in terms of both generation of IP, protection of IP, and effective utilization of IP. And there's one more clipping here, which talks of whether or not a patent have been done. Patents have been done around that area. So this is typically to sort of to alert the audience that in a setting like this, which is the Shark Tank, even from people coming from rural background, they are aware that they have done something good and their IP should be protected. So you may see the full clipping. You will see how patent related questions have been asked. So as researchers, as informed researchers, I think it is very important for us to protect our IP effectively. So that is it from my side. I have displayed my email ID, I have displayed my LinkedIn profile, and as informed during the introduction, we keep on doing these workshops and all for early career researchers and for our community in general to improve the ecosystem of IP and startup. You all are requested to connect with me on LinkedIn, wherein I post almost all the workshops we keep doing, and one we are planning very soon. So that is it from my side, Dr. Sharma. So you can take it over.
Yes, thank you, madam. It was wonderful lecture, very crispy, digestible, and cited many examples related to agriculture or biotechnology. And you have cited examples of the GI. So in case of the grapes, there are some GIs are already available in India, like the Sangli raisins, Nasik grapes, Nasik Valley vines. So these are some GIs in the related to the grapes. And there is actually in area of the winemaking, there is wonderful work has been done by Western countries, but not in India. This is very restricted area for us. And at the same time, there is no industry is coming forward to take the technology developed by our institutes or in related to directly related to the winemaking and other things. Otherwise, our technologies are penetrating to the grape growers or the processors of the regions. So same time, our institute is working on the dust testing also. So many varieties have been registered by our institute, and we are supporting the farming community as well as the some other countries' varieties also have been registered here. So we are supporting our stakeholders in different ways. So this platform is open for discussion. So kindly feel free to ask the question. Madam Sukla is here to reply your questions.
Hello,
Yes,
Yes.
please.
Dr. Shukla and Dr. Anuradha Upadhyay. My query was about CRISPR-Cas edited plants. No? Like CRISPR-Cas as such is a patented technology. Though many laboratories in India have started using it because ICR is also having a big program on CRISPR-Cas edited this thing. So you have any update on status of because if we use CRISPR-Cas technology to develop a variety or modify edit a plant, so what will be the status of that plant? Because until unless we sort out this issue, we cannot take that edited plant for commercial cultivation. So, and do you have any update? I was trying to find out, but I couldn't find out.
So Anuradha ji, one, there is no issue regarding CRISPR-Cas1. So CRISPR-Cas technology is known since 1980s, and in around 2000 we discovered it as a gene editing tool for eukaryotic like human, plant, animal cell, right? So the patent is around that technology. How do you use that? But if you have the technology and you do something else with it, right, you find out new application of it, you can get the application protected.
Okay.
So
Okay.
just for example, CRISPR-Cas technology patent is like I would say is in a lot of contest between University of Berkeley and MIT and Broad Institute, right?
Yes,
So what
yes.
happened was these two organizations were working. They were working separately,
Separately.
and they filed the patents. There was a publication in June 2012. Yeah, June 2012 about the use of CRISPR-Cas technology in eukaryotic cell, wherein it was implied that it can be used in eukaryotic cell, plant, animals, and all. And this was a publication of University of Berkeley. But then there was a publication 6 months later in February 2013, wherein the technology wherein the technology showed enablement, like how it will be done in eukaryotic cells, etc. So now the catch is that both organizations had developed it around the same time. Both applied for patents in 2014. However, the Broad Institute went ahead through the expedited examination, and both of them and got the patent earlier, right? So they filed together, but they got the patent earlier. So there's a dispute. Then the court said that okay, one discloses almost the use, but other, like the broad one, says that this is how it can be done. So that has more details. And now the situation is that both of the organizations, they give licensing fee to each other to use that particular technology, right? So this is against particular usage. But what I'm trying to say is you can use the technology, CRISPR-Cas technology, for a certain application which has not been disclosed until now.
Okay, 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 okay. Thank you.
And just for your information, this one of the CRISPR-Cas technology patent was called off also. The company itself took it back. Why? Because it was not enabled. It did not have sufficient details, so it was opposed. And then the company on its own took it back, saying that yes, they had not disclosed enough details. Right. So if you have certain ideas, you can work around it to find newer applications of it. That is fine. The technology is known since 1980s.
Yeah, that is that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Any other question?
Any other question? If there is no any question, I will request Kavita Mandankar madam for formal vote of thanks. Please unmute. Please unmute. Unmute, madam.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Yes, yes.
So, thank you for giving me this opportunity. I express my sincere gratitude to everyone who has contributed to making this event a success. First and foremost, I would like to extend a heartfelt thank you to our esteemed speaker, Dr. Nitin Tiwari. And we are grateful for the time and effort you put into sharing your IPR expertise with us today, ma'am. And I would also like to thank the director, Kaushik Banerjee, for taking his time from his busy schedule and for his encouragement. And I also thank for the participants who joined us. I'm thanking you for your active participation. I also thank the technical and supporting staff for handling the technical aspects of our online seminar. So as we conclude, I hope all of you have found that today's session was informative and many new things we have learned about the applications of different fields where we can have the IP rights. So once again, thank you to everyone for their involvement. Have a wonderful day and take care. I think now with this, we close the event.
Thank you, Kavita ji and Dr. Ajay and all the participants for arranging this and attending this. I really feel that you must have found it some useful bit out of it, and I'll appreciate any feedback from your end. Maybe if there's certain things which need to be told in detail, some things to be skipped, I'll be very happy doing that.
Thank you, ma'am, once again.
Thank you so much.
I will close the event.